Welcome back, episode 25 of Revisited. I'm gonna go with 25. I don't remember. Since I won our little thingamajigger, there was no winners there though.
You can't be serious with this.
Oh, I'm 1,000,000%
How long
serious.
is this?
Like 15 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to hit up some epic. And I say 15 minutes, even though it's 18 minutes. A lot of it is just subscribe to me, blah, blah, blah.
Patreon.
Yeah.
Check out our other videos.
Nobody got time for all that bullshit. So today we're talking about Suicide Squad. Why it's actually a great superhero movie done by the new Rockstars. Hashtag do not know these people or person. I don't even know if it's a group or whatever.
It's a group. They actually make pretty good content. They do a lot of, hey, did you see the new Avengers movies? Here's some stuff that you missed. Or
Oh yeah, I know that
stuff
type
like
of
that.
stuff.
Yeah, it's good. That's all I know them for.
Mm-hmm.
They used to do it with Walking Dead when I watched it, and that was good. But yeah, I'm sure they do a bunch of, hey, here's the movie news sorts of things. Mm-hmm. But yeah, they're a largely inoffensive channel. But something like this, what's the argument here?
I was skimming through it. It's bush. The argument is bush.
I know, and I find it very odd that it's actually a great superhero movie as opposed to why it's actually a great movie. So I can see them in the lens of all the characters are growing and changing and evolving and getting to this point, which is what superhero movies do.
Okay, but even bad superhero movies do that.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm trying to argue a point that might not even be their point. So let's just get into it.
Hey guys, I'm Kyle Vorbach, and now that we've had a month or so to process Suicide Squad and the dust has settled, I want to take a step back and take a deeper look at this.
There is not enough time to process that movie.
No, it's definitely not in a month.
It is so bad that it just sticks with you. It's ridiculous. I remember our viewing where we were just like, whoa, whoo. And just on the ride back, just talking about it over. It's one of those movies that's just like, no, this is almost meritless.
Yeah, I think we talked like 40 minutes after the movie was over about the movie, and that's a long time to be talking about a movie.
Because reactions have been super freaking polarized, and critics have definitely been, let's say, vocal. On Rotten Tomatoes, it's at 26%.
Kind of bad. It is immensely watchable.
Yeah,
something like Elektra is gone before the last frame hits. It is out your mind. It's like, did I watch that movie? It's gone. I remember Tattoo Dude, and I think there's like a bird lady or something. I don't know what the happened in that movie.
Remember you talking about the snowman, and I was like, what's that movie? You were like, you talked about it on the podcast for like 20 minutes.
No, if I were to write down like 5, here are some really bad, totally watchable movies, I think Suicide Squad would be among them.
I don't know, because I got freaking I Frankenstein.
100% top of the top of the mountain.
I really liked One Missed Call as far as that type of trash. No, I'd have to go through the list because we watched a lot.
If it's not in the top 5, it'd be edging out like
the Hulk?
6 or 7.
The first Hulk?
Oh boy. I'm just saying, it is absolutely the fun kind of bad.
Mm-hmm.
That's the same score as Green Lantern, and lower.
Green Lantern is not as horrific as people claim it to be.
Mostly fine. It is mad inoffensive. It is a 5.5 movie out this world.
Mm-hmm. There's nothing remarkable about it, and there's very little I go away with where it's just like, ugh.
The Parallax thing was bad.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a lot more offensive for Green Lantern fans.
Mm-hmm.
But outside looking in, and the CGI was really bad as well.
The suits was bad. Yeah. The rest, whatever. I don't.
Yeah.
It's like what 2002.
Yeah, it's a whatever movie. That's another one where I'm just like, what happened in that one?
Than the first Fantastic Four movie.
That one should have got way less. The first Fantastic... the first one, that wasn't bad. You know what? I won't say it wasn't bad, but it wasn't horrendous.
Yeah, no. I don't think that one's too watchable. I wouldn't suggest that. I would say Fanforstic, 1,000,000%.
But the original Fantastic Four, where it's just like they try too hard to have fun.
Mm-hmm.
And when you can see somebody try to have fun, it's like a parent on a dance floor, like, come on, we're with it too. And it's like you're not.
Yeah.
X-Men Origins Wolverine, trash. One of the worst superhero movies ever.
Yeah.
Origins and the Ben
Still kinda
Affleck Daredevil.
Daredevil was hated. It shouldn't have been hated as. Oh no! My Killtron band broke. I need another one from his mom. Yeah, that's another one where I'm just like, it's not good. It's not even in the avenue of good.
Yeah.
But the hate it gets is.
Yeah, no, way too much. There's some good stuff in that movie. That's like a 6, 5, 7 maybe.
The hate Catwoman gets is warranted.
Yeah.
Daredevil,
it's easy to say that it's bad, but it's fine.
Seriously, critics thought Suicide Squad was worse than this.
now that wasn't great.
Yeah, it's a bad moment in this film. I can point out bad moments and good things.
Also, not the same critics are reviewing the same stuff.
Yeah,
So-
you can't just blanket statement critics. It's like saying the audience. Well, there's billions of people on the earth. You can't just be like the audience like this over this. No, it's not fair.
Come on, really? Okay, this
Yeah, it's
What you
lame.
just showed. Wait, what you just showed? What was bad about that?
It's kind of lame.
Yeah, it's lame, but he didn't explain. He just went, they think it's worse than this. And that was the setup to something coming. And he just cut it off. And he didn't explain why it was bad. He just went, this is bad.
might be an unpopular opinion, but I think Suicide Squad was actually a really great superhero movie. And I know I'm not alone here. A lot of you have been tweeting us about it. It just passed $700 million worldwide. We got
People watch bums.
Yeah. And money really does not equal quality.
Not even close.
You should not have even brought this up. This is a non-point.
It made a lot of money, so clearly people like it. Yeah, there's always going to be people that like literally anything in this world. Nothing is 100% good nor 100% bad, 100% liked or 100% disliked. That doesn't mean it's good. And certainly not great.
Yeah, no.
Kevin Smith saying,
I thought it was dope.
so
Pause. Kevin Smith also said that all 3 Dark Knight movies were amazing. He adamantly fought on 2 separate podcasts about how The Dark Knight Rises is great.
Rises is trash. I don't care
It's
what anybody
terrible.
says.
The second podcast, that dude talked him down. He was like, well, maybe it's not as great, but it's still good. Dude took him off that ledge. But yeah, Kevin Smith has a lot of bad opinions.
Especially when it comes to superhero stuff. He's a fanboy. He's a self-proclaimed fanboy. So of course he's just gonna be like, unless it's such bottom of the barrel like Fan 4 Stick, it's just gonna be like, oh, this was super hype, yo. He like Bats v Soups.
Same thing with all the recent Star Wars movies. And them were buns.
does Suicide Squad deserve the reputation that it has?
Yes,
Obviously, the
worse.
movie does have its flaws. There's some creative inconsistency between David Ayer's dark tone and the vibrant, colorful titles and the sound.
No. That's how Suicide Squad is supposed to be.
Yeah, it can be both. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, no, that's not the problem.
Yeah, I don't care about that. You can have the sweet with the sour. Makes it better, as a matter of fact, in something. One Piece, something like that. It's just like, well, super dark stuff, super comedy stuff. It's not one or the other.
Titles and the soundtrack, which just sounds like someone shaking an iPod shuffle.
100%.
But I like a lot of the music from there.
Yeah, but that's what you're supposed to be like. You're like, yeah, I like that. I recognize that. But some songs last like literally 20 seconds.
Yeah, it's here and gone.
Allow me to introduce myself.
Some people have complained that there's not enough Joker, and
No. That's just a bunch of bums wanting as much Joker crap as humanly possible.
Yeah, Joker, it's one of those things where it's just like, well, Joker is baseline good. You have to make him bad. So people, of course, are going to be like, yeah, give him a chance to be good. He had his chance. It was bad.
And he failed.
not enough Joker, and other characters such as Killer Croc, Katana, and Boomerang don't have payoffs as the movie goes on. They're
This is
also-
Katana. She's got my back. She cut all you with one sword, like mowing the lawn. Oh, it was terrible. She just hopped on the plane. He just goes, here's her whole backstory exposition. I advise you for not get cut by her sword and get shit trapped as victim and crap like that. Like, what are you doing? And then later she just, once the flag was just like, hey, can we please go after Enchantress? She's my girlfriend. I love her and everything. I know that we went on this suicide mission for Amanda Waller and it kind of went tits up, but please. And everybody goes to the bar. She goes with them. Mm-hmm. Like, wait, why? She never showed any of this.
As the movie goes on, there also was a really bizarre story structure. We aren't even introduced to the problem until at least 40 minutes into the movie. And
yeah, no. You got the setup with Enchantress. You see Enchantress being a little bit disobeying of Amanda Waller. So you go, okay, there's some threads there. And then she betrays him and brings forth the brother. Yeah, time to threat ratio doesn't really matter to me, because that's build up. You got 106 characters that you got to build up. I would prefer you build them up and then go, okay, here's the villain. But you didn't do that.
When is the first time the villain is actually known in Iron Man? It's like an hour in, dude. High key.
And yeah, it's a little corny at times.
Now that's killer app.
But there's a lot of awesome things this movie totally nailed that we're not talking about. So I want to go through the movie and point out all those redeeming moments.
That's liable for. You got that from some sort of means.
Yeah.
And this is a sponsored channel and everything.
Maybe this was before they were heavily sponsored.
Well, they've been doing this for quite a while. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I personally wouldn't do something like that, because that's just like, that's asking to be done up.
Oh, allergies.
Put all that sneezing.
Allergies.
I don't care.
Up on that made Suicide Squad surprisingly great for the superhero genre, even if these guys are technically anti-heroes. What is that? What is that I hear in the distance? Commenters already saying hateful things? Just hear me out. Okay, here we go.
Let's go save the world.
So, the first thing we need to accept about Suicide Squad is that this story is not really a film. Now, I know what you're thinking. Yes, it is.
Oh, first, we need to accept this, he says. What?
This movie is not really a film.
So, we need to walk into it in order to figure out that it's actually good, to just go, okay, first off, not a film.
Or do we, after watching it, have to accept that I didn't watch a film?
I watched, and let's hear his argument.
I paid $15 to see it in theaters. But the thing is, traditional Hollywood films have a very specific structure to them. You got 3 acts, an inciting incident that introduces the problem around 15 minutes into the movie.
No, you're just implanting a time frame within that.
Yeah, no. It doesn't have to be like that. There's all sorts of story structures that you can do to bend and break that. It doesn't have to follow this rigid thing in order to be called a film.
Especially not 15 minutes in.
Yeah,
like, that's literally ridiculous.
You're just making this up in order to prove your point. This is, no, absolutely not.
The second Harry Potter film, the second Harry Potter 7th movie, is a complete film, but it's one large third act. No 15 minutes in, the inciting incident.
Then the hero responds to that problem, sometimes by assembling a team, kind of like every...
The Avengers weren't assembled until like 15 minutes in!
If that!
Avengers or Fast and Furious movie, Suicide...
A lot of times they're not even brought in until like 35, 40 minutes. Dude, and the final break... The final time they're actually all together is the third act of the movie, or the latter half of the second act of the movie, so it can all be like, all right, we're in this together, here comes the job. It is about family.
Did this dude really just bring up the Fast and Furious movies to make his point? There are
that Suicide Squad is great.
Other films that he could have went to just go, here's a 3-act structure, and he picked Avengers and Fast and Furious? Come on.
Squad doesn't do that. It spends over 40 minutes introducing us to all the characters.
Yeah, because we don't have any
Knowledge, attachment, anything.
to them from beforehand. It would be just like the Avengers if they never did any of those other movies. What do you? It's just like Justice League. We have no attachment to Aquaman, Flash, none of them. They're all introduced within that movie.
But we will. We fixing to 4-5 hour cut.
The most epic.
Not for children. This is an adult man movie.
What a bum! That's why all of this was terrible. I'm not trying to make these kiddie little superhero movie. I want a serious adult movie. So let's bring in a bunch of in contrast. Bum.
Their backstories, their motivations, and then it presents the problem. Enchantress and the Incubus trying to...
Most of their motivations are very static. Get out of prison or get their prison sentence reduced or escape. That's their motivation. Could have been a slide. Except for Deadshot. He's got his daughter thing and Quinn. The people that are established are the ones with motivation and stuff. But then it's just Killer Croc. It's like, what do you want? BET. Oh, was this a character thing that we were unaware of? Oh, I guess.
take over the world. There's a reason it does this. See, these days, superhero movies have transformed from being normal, standalone movies to being packaged as cinematic events.
No, they're not. You're just on that old bush. What was the cinematic event of... I'm trying to think of a recent movie. Ant-Man and the Wasp. It was a fairly self-contained movie, and then at the very end, in a after credit scene, they go, "All right, here's what's happening for him for Infinity War." Whoops!
I mean,
whoa!
Yeah,
Whoa went away from the whole thing.
I was just, it was done 100 years in the past. How could that tie into anything? It's happened. I think he's just saying that, oh, the Wonder Woman must interact with the Flash and they must tie into each other. But Suicide Squad is its own self-contained thing, even though it's not, because it's got all the Superman parallels, because Superman died over there in Batman versus Superman. And that brings it over here.
Why was the squad assembled? In case a Superman level threat came. How did Quinn get caught? By Batman? How did Boomerang get caught? The Flash?
Oh, this is breaking down.
What? That can't be correct, because this is self-contained and they don't do that.
Each movie is connected to a broader universe, and those universes are connected to decades of comics and pop culture. So...
Nope. It's its own little thing. It may reference things that's like, hey, you know about this or this, but for the most part, things that are established in the movies are its own little thing. It's not going to be like, oh, you got to read New 52, Volume 42 in order to get this. No, you absolutely do not. It's its own little thing.
Going into a superhero movie, you're informed by and hyped up on a year's worth of trailers, rumors, and press as
All movies?
Isn't this what happened with Suicide Squad?
I gotta assume he's going a different direction.
as well as your experience watching every previous movie in that universe. It's like how the Super Bowl is more than a game. It's about everything around it too. We actually have another
Why was Batman angry at Superman? Well, because of the events of Man of Steel. Why do they need a Superman level threat task force? Because of the events of Batman versus Superman. So you need to watch the previous movies, I guess. This is what it sounded like, isn't it? I mean, I'm not nuts here. What's he talking about?
Works that digs into this a bit more, but the point is, superhero movies nowadays can't be typical films. They need to be a collage of climactic moments.
But you reference Avengers as a regular film.
Yes, you did.
As they assemble the people and then...
Three-act structure. And now it's a whole big climactic battle?
And even if there's a whole connected universe, that doesn't mean it can't still follow a 3-act structure. Suicide Squad has a 3-act structure. It's just the first act is so long and terrible.
It just doesn't follow your strict 15 minutes thing.
Pay off fan expectations by using the best elements of the source material. Take a look at Captain America's Civil War. It felt like a comic book came to life. Because of this trend going into theaters, your question isn't, I wonder what problem the Suicide Squad is going to solve today. Your question is, I wonder if they're going to get the characters right. I wonder if the Joker is going to be good. I wonder if we're going to see Deadshot be a freaking badass. So, under that criteria, Suicide Squad absolutely nails it. The first 40 minutes...
Wait! Under that criteria, first off, what about the whole story and everything else around it? But let's go into that later. Under the criteria of did the characters get done? Absolutely not. We did not get enough time with them. We did not get their motivations enough.
Katana was done right.
What Katana fans are like, yeah, finally.
Dude, I don't know if Killer Croc was done right or not. Because he's just a nothing to me.
Yeah, no. And it's not about even characters being done right. It's about characters being done well. Look at the Harley Quinn show. They're all just like completely different from their comic book
They're like
counterparts.
hyper-realized versions of who they are.
Yeah, to the point where the new Suicide Squad got King Shark, and I'm like, oh, King Shark. I'm like, oh, that's not my King Shark. So no, it's not even about being done justice or anything. It's about how well they're implemented. And for the most part, a lot of these muffs ain't well implemented.
You look at it like this. What happens if I don't know these characters? Then I just got to get attached to them here.
Yeah, you got to give me a reason.
Yeah, I don't care about, let's say Deadshot or Katana or anything. I don't know these characters. So present the characters to me and let me like them. People that went to go see the first Iron Man movie wasn't like, I've been a fan of Iron Man for 400 years and now I finally get to see
justice.
Yeah, no, they were like, wow, this is a good film. It's a good superhero film. I like Iron Man now. It has nothing to do with, there are absolutely times where you're going to go, are they going to get these characters right? And it could absolutely detract from the film, just like Jonathan Kent and me for Man of Steel. But that doesn't mean that every person walking into the theater is like that. Because a lot of people, a lot of mainstream superhero fans are not comic fans.
Yeah, no, absolutely not.
Like a comic book, actually, with amazing character vignettes that feel lifted directly from the pages. And independently,
that's not what happened in the movie. I think that was a trailer or a vignette.
Yeah, something like that.
That's misleading.
These work really well. You have Harley Quinn's origin story with the Joker and a car chase with Batman.
And you have Killer Croc's backstory. You have Slipknot, the man who could climb anything, his backstory. You got Captain Boomerang, his backstory. You're gonna mention the two, cause that's all you can do.
In the Batmobile that results in her capture, we see Deadshot, in a nutshell, being an incredibly lethal assassin and struggling to reconcile that with being a father to his daughter. We see June Moon spelunking and possession by Enchantress. We also see Captain Boomerang's capture by the Flash, which, in my opinion, is one of the most comic booky moments in the whole movie, because in comics, major characters can just pop in like this, and it's not a huge deal.
What do we know about Captain Boomerang? Why does he fight with boomerangs? That's a very good question. Why boomerangs? What are they, enchanted boomerangs?
No.
Is he just super athletic with them?
Yeah.
Why boomerang? Where does he get his supply of boomerangs? 'Cause I remember one of them had like a tracking device or something on it, or a camera. Some trash like that. We're not getting any of this.
He buys or builds them.
Oh, that was in the movie?
No.
Oh.
That's me knowing the comic.
Oh, okay. I don't know the comics, so I got these questions. And this movie ain't interested in answering them.
But the Flash,
they're talking about freaking Harley Quinn. And then when you look at her bio and backstory and stuff, the dates don't line up. Because it's just like, Robin was killed 10 years ago. She's like, I think she's like 26, 27. And she had to be brainwashed by Joker. So, 17, she's a 17-year-old psychiatrist?
PhD.
No! It don't line up. They just didn't care. What
just
was
like,
it?
hi, I'm the Flash.
Oh yeah, it's something about comics.
Yeah,
Oh, it's awesome
characters
that-
just pick up,
Yeah.
pull
Pop
up.
in like
Shut
this.
up.
And it's not a huge deal. It's just like, hi, I'm the Flash. I'm here to capture Captain Boomerang. And you never hear from him again because it's a larger universe. So it's a real
But that's just what you said, that you don't want them doing that.
Is this good because it's a comic book film that doesn't follow the rigid formula, or is it good because it does, and it does the things that, oh, here's a comic book character and that's fun? Are we arguing for quality or source material matching? What are we doing here?
moment when we just briefly see a cameo by a major Justice League member. And you have this
We saw it with Batman too.
Yeah. We saw it with Batman versus Superman. They had a bunch of little cameos.
scene in the White House Situation Room, which is one of the best scenes in the movie. It establishes all the stakes all neatly in one scene, and it does
Like a Act 1?
by reminding us of what happens in Superman 2.
What if Superman had decided to fly down,
Oh, so we
rip
need-
off the roof of the White House, grab the president right out of the Oval Office?
That was,
Who would have stopped him?
And together, this first 40 minutes feels like an incredible TV show pilot, you know? Imagine if this movie was actually a show you found on Netflix.
but it's not.
Yeah, no.
It's a movie.
We're not talking about what ifs or anything. We got what we got.
What if I got a good movie? Oh, but I didn't.
Oh, yeah.
So,
What if they fleshed out Killer Croc? Just imagine that. And now isn't the movie good? Just imagine that they did this. No, absolutely not. Get this trash out of here.
The structure would be perfect. A 40-minute pilot where we get to know all the characters, get to love them, and it ends with like a big problem. Oh shit, Enchantress is reenacting what happens in Fantastic Four and Man of Steel with a giant, beam of light disaster
Yeah,
thing.
2 bad movies.
that's what you want, I guess.
Keep on going, we get a big twist later on in this season with Amanda Waller revealed as the person they're trying to save. We even get a big season finale with like a cliffhanger with Joker breaking Harley out of prison. So you can see
Bro, this is a movie. It's
Yeah.
not a series, so I don't care.
Yeah, and that's not a cliffhanger. They're just like, oh, they're off to do more adventures. That's not a cliffhanger. But also, if it was a series, we would have time to devote an episode or two to each of these characters to develop them. But we don't. So we just rushing through this. It's like here's a clip art slideshow, and that's it. That's all we got. So it would be good if it was a little Netflix series, but it ain't. It'd be better.
while it doesn't fit the mold of a film, there is something awesome to be
It does. You just described in Act 1. They're going to go solve the problem and all that for Act 2, and then they're going to have their highs and their lows, which they do in Act 2,
Yeah.
and then they finally get the resolve
back
up
up.
or whatever, and then we head towards our third act.
Yeah, it's the second act low point. There's always that thing where everybody's like, "Oh, I can't do it," and then they get motivated and then they do it.
Oh, is it fair to judge Suicide Squad by the idea of what a standalone movie should be? I don't think so.
That was the little bit I heard where I was like, yeah, this is the one.
Hey, how was Suicide Squad? Well, the standard movie is a 3-act structure.
And Suicide Squad didn't
It
follow that.
deviates from that.
And I don't think it's fair to judge it as a film. So if you look at it through that lens, I think it's actually a great superhero film.
What? Dude! Seriously?
Currently redefining how the movie industry works.
No, they're not. Absolutely not. Are you wait, so are we getting other movies that don't follow 3-act structures?
Because I can tell you right now, Harley Quinn, Birds of Prey, 3-act structure.
Ooh, I did not venture into that hole.
It's like a 6.5.
I want no part of Harley Quinn.
I
I'm sick
understand.
of her.
I understand. It's the push. Like, she was pushed so hard. And it's just like, everything's Harley Quinn. It's just like, I'm tired of it. She's supposed to be the last guest character for MK11. That's one of the leaks. Yep, that's one of the leaks.
But they got Joker.
Yeah, that's why. Just like Injustice 2 had Sub-Zero and Raiden, this was gonna have Joker and Harley Quinn.
But
Yep.
But it's not even like Sub-Zero and Scorp.
Nope.
It's like a direct.
Yep. It's supposed to be Ash Williams, Melina, and Harley Quinn.
I hope Melina is so low tier.
Dude, I don't want her in the game. The fans have ruined her for me right now.
It's the push.
It's the push.
It's that fervent demand.
When you have Ed Boon, I know we're going off on a tangent. When you have Ed Boon going, it's real sad. My friend's dog died. Send them some good wishes, and people are like, Melina would have saved the dog or some other. I'm like, dude, you're disgusting, and I want no part of it. I used to love Melina. Can't stand her now. And now all these babies are gonna get their wish.
Yes.
Yo,
and it's just sending a message, just like, complain enough, and you'll get what you want.
That's all the message is. Keep crying to us. Keep sending us this, and you'll get your way.
Twitter messages and
legit death threats.
Facebook messages. It's just like, Melina, every single one of your messages should involve Melina in some way, and they'll get the message, and you'll get what you want. Good lesson.
Everything is weird and has a cinematic universe now, but if we judge Suicide Squad by...
The Mummy was supposed to be the kicking off point of a large cinematic universe, and it has a 3-act structure, and it also had interconnected stuff, and it sucked balls.
Whoops.
What it set out to do, which is expand the DC universe, introduce us to some of the weird, awesome, fan favorite...
Did Aquaman have a 3-act structure? It did. Oh me, oh my.
What's his argument here? What is he? I don't understand.
The argument is superhero movies are not meant to be actual films. They're meant to be superhero movies. So they follow this large universe, and the whole reason to have the film is to further the large universe as opposed to having a 3-act structured self-contained film. As opposed to what it actually is, a 3-act structured self-contained film with bits and pieces thrown in every now and then as they see fit. It's not something like freaking Iron Man 2 where there's so much shield and it's just like, okay, we see where this is going. It's not like Bats v Supes where there's so much Justice League and it's just like, okay, we see where this is going. It's just a film with 6 people that we don't know about that we have to establish, then get the villain.
Anti-heroes and make us fall in love with them for 2 hours. Suicide Squad killed it. So let's talk about
it did kill it. It absolutely did. And why would you show Killer Croc? Homeboy had maybe 8 lines in the entire film.
And you bet people laughed at him.
Yes, they did.
B.E.T. Because he's supposed to be black.
Hey, did this slideshow show that he's a confirmed cannibal? Yes, it did. We're gonna explore that any? Nope. I guess, maybe next movie, I guess. Oh, he ain't in it?
It's funny, Katana ain't in it. What? But you got John Cena.
One thing that Suicide Squad does not get enough credit for is how well it adapted these DC characters.
Bull.
Yeah, no.
Shite.
No, this is a bad picture because Harley Quinn dresses like that once in the film. Deadshot has that eye thing, and everybody else is different. Who is that? The witch?
Enchantress.
Is it?
Yes.
Wow. Mm-hmm. That's terrible. Was this a lineup, or was this like a fan, like, oh, this is what it would be in Batman the Animated Series?
I don't know, because Killer Croc looks mad different from anything I've ever seen him in.
Yeah, and Flag is like more defined than everybody else, especially in the cheek region. No.
Screen. Superhero movies tend to adapt the hero.
That was Slipknot, the man that could climb anything at the very left?
I guess so.
Oh no! Why has he got the little cutout for his freaking ribs? He looks terrible! This is a great adaptation? I don't know about Slipknot, the man that can climb anything.
You know he can climb anything.
Yes. Okay, yeah, this is definitely a fan picture because they're all in the same pose.
Yeah, I would assume so.
Yeah, so
or maybe even Bruce Timm himself was just like, here's a quick one for y'all. Get out of my face.
Oh, $1 million? Why, thank you so much.
The heroes to be cooler than the source material.
No. Nah. Thor is noticeably lamer.
Yeah.
He's a dork, but it's hilarious. So, in essence, he's better and worse than his comic counterpart. So, Captain America? Cooler? No! He's just awesome. He's just always Captain America.
Yeah. That's all you really need.
I don't see it, dude.
I don't,
Spider-Man?
I don't need cooler than their comic book counterpart. I don't read comics. Show me a good character. You got 2 hours to convince me why I like this character. And they just flat did not do it.
You know, calling out the weird campiness of the comics. Like that line in X-Men.
What was that jump cut?
That was horrendous. Can cut out?
You know, calling out the weird campiness of the comics. Like that line in X-Men.
Actually go outside in these things.
What would you prefer? Yellow spandex?
Or pretty much the entire...
Yeah, that's a call out.
Yeah, and that was like in the 2000s, 2000 flat. That was still at the ground floor of comic book movies. We had Blade? That was the new era of comic book movies.
Mm-hmm. We had Blade, then we had X-Men, then we had Spidey.
So they can still get away with, because it's just like people are fervent for Ken. So they're like, oh yeah, the yellow Wolverine, that's fantastic, because all the people know that. Even recent films can do that, absolutely. But does this? And does it do it well?
Entire movie of Ant-Man.
Who the hell are you?
I'm Ant-Man.
Ant-Man? What, you haven't heard of me? No, you wouldn't have heard of me.
One huge exception to this was...
How was that what point was made there?
That somehow we can get an entire movie out of Ant-Man. Like he's not a character.
We can get a movie out of anything.
It's most things.
We got a movie out of Elektra. I did not say a good movie. I did not say a bad movie. It was 130 minutes and it had a 3-act structure.
What more could you possibly want out of a film?
As a film.
As far as he's concerned, it was a great superhero movie. It accomplished everything it needed to.
Yep.
They embrace the weirdness. They're like, yeah, that's a talking tree guy and that's a talking raccoon and Chris Pratt is hot.
They didn't embrace it. They had to adapt the characters that are actually the characters.
Yeah.
They embrace the weirdness, but just having talking tree is not embracing weirdness. Yeah. It's just adapting what's on the book.
Yeah, what doesn't embrace the weirdness? Something like Batman versus Superman where it's joyless? No, this was an action comedy. So of course it's gonna embrace the weirdness like that. Their comic book movies always do that. Freaking back in the 2000s with Spider-Man. Green Goblin was mad campy. That was nothing but embracing the weirdness.
I could squash you like a bug right now. Hello, my dear. Finish it! Finish it!
Dude, that was hype. That's one of the hypest. Get it out of here.
Moving on, and no one points that out as weird. It doesn't.
Cause it's a comic book movie. We're fine with accepting it and suspending our disbelief because they explained Groot, they explained Rocket, and they went, okay, moving on.
Yeah. And if you do find it weird, it's just like, yeah, this is a weird thing. But weird can also be enjoyable. Don't say weird like it's just a negative outright.
To make fun of its own concept. That's just the reality of the world, and all the jokes that take place happen within that world. Suicide Squad does that too, and it is great. There's a witch.
No, don't just say it's great. It's bad. The jokes are not funny.
I did not laugh.
She smashes the thing, and they look at her like, what? And like, well, we're bad guys. That's what we do. Oh, I got voices in my head. What? I should kill everybody? I'm just kidding. That's not what they said. And there's always like a beat of just like boing.
Like there should be a laugh track.
Yeah, like okay, and pause for laughter and moving on. No, this is trash.
Great. There's a witch and Killer Croc and a sword that takes people's souls, and everyone just rolls with it. Some people accuse the DC.
There are these things in the movie
That are from comic.
and it's weird, and that's why it's good. There's Killer Croc. Moving on to my next point. You said nothing about Killer Croc but the fact that he exists.
He is.
Yes, he's here.
Souls, and everyone just rolls with it. Some people accuse the DC cinematic universe for taking itself too seriously.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And Suicide Squad and bringing in Whedon for Justice League were meant to be partly course correcting. Of just going, we're not too serious. We can have fun too. And both times, flat on the face.
Yeah, they slipped, they stumbled. It was a stumble. Something like Wonder Woman that has like light moments, and it's like, yeah, I dig it.
And it doesn't take itself too seriously.
Yeah, something like Aquaman's was like light moments, like yeah,
Shazam?
Same thing. It's an escalation. You gotta build up to this. But they just hit the ground running like, oh, we're dark now. Oh, this ain't working. People ain't digging it. Oh, we're funny. We're comedy now. Oh, this ain't working. And then it just sort of like mixed the two and made it. But yeah, Man of Steel?
Bruh.
There are maybe 2-3 jokes in that? 2-3 ha-has?
In a Superman movie.
It's ridiculous. That mug is joyless.
It is jaw wry. How many in Baz v Soups? 2? It's the cape and I thought she was with you. Maybe that's a joke.
I can see people going, Lex Luthor had some ha-has.
But is it like we're laughing with Lex or we're laughing at what's going on the screen and this is absurd?
He peed in a jar.
He peed in a jar.
Or somebody peed in a jar. There was a jar with pee.
But really, I think they just don't want to sell out their characters. We could have seen.
They don't want to sell out their characters?
In what way?
They don't want to sell out Superman by going, let's have some joy and laughter in this?
The most ridiculous thing that you could have done was just extract the color from that movie. It's ridiculous. And who are you betraying by...
You betray me!
The Room is very watchable. But who are you betraying by not portraying Killer Croc correctly?
Can I just say with The Room, is that in the pantheon of the bad and watchable, or has it become so bad that it's actually good?
Oh, absolutely. It was always good.
No. What I mean is something like Clock Watchers or Clock Stoppers, that movie. It's bad, and because of that, it's watchable. But it's not really good. It's bad good. Is The Room actually good now because of how bad it was?
Yes, absolutely. 100%.
Okay, so it's in the one piece of just like, if you're talking bad movies, it's just The Room and then everything else.
It goes so far into 0 that it shoots back into a 10. It bounces. It goes back into the other side of the circle. It's amazing.
The Room is actually
I
ridiculous.
love that movie. And it's so draft to say like, oh, I love it's a great, fantastic movie. And I appreciate Tommy Wiseau for leaning into it so much, but then pull it back because you're just like, oh, I'm trying to do weird stuff now and it's weird bad.
Yeah, it's not
and
working.
It's one of those I'm trying too hard and you can feel it. And
He definitely would have made a good Joker though. I
yeah. Oh no,
believe
that little demo that he did, I'm like, I can see it. Give him a little short. Put him in something.
Put him in one of those DC shorts where it's just like, because they're doing the Flashpoint for Flash, and they
have him running through a universe and poke his head, and then, there's Tommy Wiseau.
Or even just be like Tales from Flashpoints, and it's just like all these different shorts from different universes, and it's just Tommy Wiseau being a Joker.
They got in comic out like it's 3 Jokers. Make him one of them.
Who cares?
Who cares?
universe for taking itself too seriously, but really, I think they just don't want to sell out their characters. We could have seen jokes like, what, so we got crocodile people now? Like you could
Pause! There was a little joke of, were we some kind of Suicide Squad? That's the same kind of joke! And you're deriding that?
I don't know what you're doing, dude.
Dude! It's the literal joke! It's so bad!
I've seen jokes like, what, so we got crocodile people now? Like you could picture that being a line in an alternate universe version of this movie. Instead, the humor comes from the characters interacting with each other as who they are.
What you having?
Beer.
Whiskey.
What am I, 12?
How about you, hot stuff?
Water.
Wasn't that a deleted scene?
Yeah.
I think that's in the extended version because I don't remember that too well. That part is just like, but yeah, that wasn't funny. Comedy is subjective. We know. Hold that comment. But yeah, that's not. I can see
it wasn't funny.
That's not funny. That's a character thing. That's like to girl going, I'd like an orange juice. I don't drink. That's not a funny thing. That's like, oh, that's a character thing. I can see him just like, I don't want to lose control of myself, burn y'all to a crisp, so I'll just take a water. No, that's not funny. It's a character thing.
That's a good idea, honey.
So let's look at how some of these characters were adapted and what they added to the film. First of all, the Joker. Jared Leto had his work cut out for him after a ton of amazing Joker portrayals. Obviously Heath Ledger in The Dark Knight, Jack Nicholson in Batman, and Mark Hamill in the animated series. But despite these high expectations, he delivered something totally freaking different.
It's good because it's different.
Totally freaking different.
Because it was different, that's why it's good. Now, the Joaquin Phoenix Joker is very different, and he's wrapped in a good movie, in my opinion, good movie. You weren't a fan of it.
No, not a huge fan. It's pretty good. That's one of those movies where like, yep, I saw it, never got to see it again.
Yeah, I very much feel that with a lot of things. But yeah, different does not automatically equal good.
Yeah.
I just need you to portray Joker well, whatever Joker they were going for.
Mm-hmm.
And if the Joker they were going for was bad, no matter what performance you present, it's going to be bad. And they were going for this Joker, and he knocked it out of the park for this Joker. This Joker just happened to be terrible.
Clayface isn't good in a Harley Quinn show because he's different. It's because he's funny and weird, and I can see his personality.
And that's what they were going for.
Yeah. Different does not automatically equal. Because something like Bane, he's so good. Bane was different and the same. But again, I'm not going, he's good because he's different or the same. I'm good. I'm like, he's funny. Watch Harley Quinn. Or
Watch Harley Quinn.
Or at least the Bane points. Because Bane legit kills me with every line. He's the best. It's everything I wanted.
He went method and mailed used condoms.
No, I don't care.
Yeah.
That was gross and disgusting, and his coworkers hated him for it.
Yeah. What about the people? What about Mark Hamill, who didn't need to do this stuff and still was a good Joker?
Or Heath Ledger, who didn't need to do this type of crap and still was a good Joker.
He had his own thing. He was locking himself in a hotel room and things like that. But yeah,
that's to get inside his own head.
There are people that can portray weird characters and weird things and good things without being this method. I don't need this. This does not enhance the character of the Joker. This is outside sources going, oh, this dude was weird. I don't know. Don't be a sex pest. Chill out, homie. We don't need this.
To his fellow cast members. That's how you do a good Joker. But really,
No, it's not.
That's disgusting, dude.
Jack Nicholson ain't do that. Heath Ledger ain't do that. That's not how you do a good Joker. So can I just mail a rat to somebody and be like, yo, I'm the Joker. That's a good Joker. And not act like the Joker at all? Because if that's all that it takes to be a good Joker, because you've said that he's different and he mailed rats and condoms to people. And that makes him a good Joker. What?
And anal beads and
that's a good Joker? No.
that's how you do a good Joker. But really, he went back to the source material. Jared Leto's Joker is a combination of several different incarnations of Joker from the comics. He's a gangster.
Do not care.
Yeah.
Who cares if he's like a melding of like 5 different Jokers? Was he good?
And
I submit no.
how is a melding of things different? It's the same things, just differently.
It's a new thing now.
Okay, and if we're going into different equals good, does that mean that Man of Steel Superman is good?
Absolutely not.
Because he is just.
But he must be.
Yes, because he's different.
Has to be.
Those are the rules.
Crime Lord, like the original inspiration for the character. He has tattoos like an all-star Batman and Robin.
Literally the worst
Yeah.
Batman and Robin comic in history.
And does this make him a good character? This does not. What if I'm blind and I don't see the tattoos? That it's nothing.
And while recent portrayals of the Joker have gotten darker and darker and more insane, this version of the Joker does an excellent job of reminding us of the genuine joy he gets from committing crimes. And
That's just like the comic Joker.
Yes, and also Heath Ledger, he had the joy as well. A lot of the Jokers have the joy. There's
Like the fun hospital scene, which was actually an ad-lib by Heath Ledger himself. It's almost like these execs don't get these characters really. Cause they tried to take out the Wonder Woman scene with the war when she's just walking. They tried to take that out. They didn't want it.
What are you doing?
It's almost like these execs don't get these characters.
inciting chaos. And the Joker we see in this movie is a romanticized one. A lot of people were bummed Joker wasn't in this movie more, and the reason he wasn't was that his primary function in this movie is to serve as a love interest to Harley Quinn. If he was in it more, he would kind of disservice the movie as a whole. It would just be
Come on, dude. What's the point of this?
Yeah, what does this say about the Joker? That he set all that up and then sailed in the middle of it, and now once he's done with it, he's just gonna get up and leave the room. What does this say about the Joker?
What is the before and after of this very scene?
He has to sit there and meticulously, either him or somebody else or him just going, yeah, set them all up like, what does this do for his character? Why is he sitting there like, is he just like, I'm going to use all these things? Are those chopsticks or spatulas on the outside?
Doesn't matter.
Does it matter? But yeah.
I think it's a meat cleaver.
distracting. His main job is to tug Harley by the heartstrings and drive her manic behavior, which is an amazing accomplishment.
Pause. All he is a motivation? That's not a character. It's an avatar. Her old motivation is to get back to him. That's it. What? And all he wants is to get her. So it's just like two halves of a character with half a motivation each.
Of this movie, by the way, this is a Joker that we can actually believe made Dr. Harleen Quinzel fall in love with him and break him out of Arkham Asylum.
No, we don't. We got 2 scenes of that. Maybe a hot 40 seconds.
He's saying the character we see, we can see how he could smooth his way into.
I don't see that because
I don't at all.
Because the few interactions that we see with normal people, like that jail guard's horrified of him. He's super scared of him. What else do we see people Joker bringing people over to his side or using his charm or his wits or anything? It's nothing. We got that and we got Harley Quinn scenes. And even with Common, he goes, hey, sleep with Harley Quinn. He's like, nah, that's your girl. He was not convinced.
I can't really picture that with previous iterations on the character. Like, I could actually...
Are you serious?
This is different, you see. Is
Are
this
you
the same?
absolutely serious? The interrogation scene with Heath Ledger, you could not see him in a room with Harley Quinn with her mind. You could not see Jack Nicholson, the purest one-to-one comic Joker, doing the thing that comic Joker did. Well, the purest Batman animated series, because that's where it comes from.
Yeah, I was about to say, I like how he didn't even show the animated series, which is where the literal origin comes from.
Actually picture this Joker showing up to Barbara Gordon's house dressed like a tourist with a dad's shirt and a camera, and then...
You can see the Jack Nicholson one?
Yeah, but this is the same. I thought we were doing different. Now you're going, hey, wouldn't it be great if I could see him doing this same exact thing? Why not an amalgamation of things that has been done by other Jokers?
And what leads you to think he would do that? That he would wear a flowery shirt and that hat and all that, like I'm going on vacation.
And what makes you think that Heath Ledger wouldn't do that? Or Nicholson?
Especially Nicholson.
shooting her through the spine. So I'd say this is a pretty comic book accurate Joker.
It's absolutely not, dude. You're trying so hard to twist it. You did a 5-point amalgamation of the character, and then when it's like the origin, it's like this, it's like this. But then I could see him doing the stuff for Harley Quinn and shooting Barbara Gordon. Completely ignoring Nicholson.
His argument is that is different and is the same as the other ones, and he can see him doing things that the other Jokers do, and therefore is comic accurate.
Oh, and also things that the other Jokers wouldn't do.
So it's everything.
It's everything. This is the greatest Joker ever because of this. Because he's everything and nothing.
Because he's so different and so similar.
Dialogue choices aside,
You are my guests to this handsome.
I could.
Are we good?
It's the best line that a Joker has ever uttered. Or hugga. Oh boy. No.
Oh my god, really?
You are my guests to this handsome. Hunka.
I could not be more.
Dude, it's so good.
Terrible.